Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Okay everybody, hi. Today we are gonna answer one of the questions I've been getting a lot of since I've been back from my month-long hiatus in June. But before we get to that, I just want to check in. I know you all have been very interested in what's on Judy's mind lately, and I just want to make sure we check in with her because I know you all come to these videos for her and not for me. Let's just be honest. So Judy, what's on your mind? Huh, okay, alright, well then, what else can you say? What else can you say? I'm, as always, very happy to have Judy here. I love her so much, so I'm glad you all are enjoying her little bits in these videos lately as well. So the question that a lot of people have been asking or posting about in my comments is whether or not I've lost weight, or some people are just asking in general. They're saying like, oh, you're glowing. Did you do something to your skincare routine? Are you doing something different? Did you get a haircut? Wow. And just like, honestly, I appreciate the lovely, nice, considerate comments. You can always tell me that I look beautiful and gorgeous and cute and adorable. I will always take those compliments, believe me. But to answer your questions, yes, I have lost weight. I think around the time that I started like focusing on my health, my highest weight was somewhere around 238. I don't know, I'll pop up a little chart that Chronometer has been using to keep track of like how I'm doing and things like that. But yes, I've lost probably about 20 pounds. I was about 238 at my recent highest. Actually, some of you may or may not know, depending on how long you followed me, but my highest weight I've ever gotten to was 266. That was like before I went to grad school, and then I had like lost a lot of weight, but well, not a lot, but I had lost some weight before I went to grad school. Grad school is very stressful, okay? I don't know if any of y'all have ever pursued a postgraduate degree, but it's hard and it's stressful. And so I didn't focus on my weight as much. I got a full-time job after grad school, was able to focus more time. I did keto for probably a solid 2 years, lost a significant amount of weight. At the time I started keto, I think I was like 253. I have all these like random like key numbers stuck in my head, and I know 266 is one, I know 253 is one. I lost weight, I got down, I think doing keto I got down to like close to 200 pounds at one point. So like, wow, who was he? Okay, for a long time I was holding around, like I stopped doing keto because for me, I just like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's not sustainable because I think it is for a lot of people, but for me I was like struggling to maintain that diet, that lifestyle. And so then I got back around to 230. I've done a couple of different videos on my channel about my weight, but not a ton. I think the most recent one was where I weighed myself for 100 days in a row. And in that video, I mostly stayed around 230, 232. I occasionally got up higher than that. And then after that video, the highest I ever did get to was 238. So I've mostly been debating about whether or not this was a video I even wanted to make for my channel, but because I seem to have gotten a lot of questions about it, I did want to just address it so that I could just like start linking people to this video, to be quite honest with you. That's like one thing I love to do, is like when people ask questions in my comments, I'm like, oh, here's a video where I've answered that before. So now this is it. Now I could just say, here, go watch this video. Click on my video and watch it, and I'll answer all of your questions. But some of the reasons that I've been kind of hesitant is like, one, I'm not a weight loss channel. I don't want to be a weight loss channel, and while I've obviously discussed weight loss of myself and others on this channel, it's not something I really aspire to be, mostly because you know, I think that my weight, my health, etc. is something that's like personal to me, and while I respect that people put that out there, you know, it's just something that like is my personal life outside of this, and something that I've always just chosen to put onto YouTube at my own comfort and at my own decision. So obviously I know that some people are gonna have feelings about me, my weight, etc. So you all can leave that wherever you want in the comments. We love that engagement on my video, good, bad, the ugly. Feel free. The other thing is that I'm not any kind of an expert on weight loss, never have been, never have claimed to be on this channel. And so I certainly don't want to say that like anything I'm doing is something that should be replicated or done by others, okay? So don't take that. I'm just sharing my journey, okay? It's just my journey. And then the third thing that really kept me from wanting to do it is that some aspects of me losing weight was not positive and was related to, you know, my own mental health. I had a lot of anxiety and depression, particularly in the month of June, but also just in general. So, because I'm an anxious, depressed person, clinically diagnosed, okay? So my weight also is very much related to that and how well or not well that I'm dealing with that. So all that said, I do want to just share a little bit about my health journey with you all, at least as it has been here in 2020, and that way your questions can be answered. Hopefully you'll be satisfied and I could go on to making silly, goofy videos about YouTube and commentary and things like that. So I started focusing on my health again. I mean, I would say I've always been focused on my health, but like decided to finally do a little bit more than what I had been doing in February. And that started by me deciding, hey Zach, it's time. You're 31 now. It's time to go to the gym, get some cardio. I was like panting coming up the stairs and I'm like, ugh, Zach, this cannot be your life. Like, it's just, I live on the 3rd floor of my building. Like, I have to take the stairs every day. I could not be panting every time I go up and down those stairs, you know? I was like, let's join a gym, and not just join a gym, but you're gonna get a personal trainer. And I got a personal trainer. He was great. I feel so lucky that I was able to find somebody who made me feel comfortable, made me not worry about like not knowing exactly what I was doing, because that's what he was there for. And that was really the reason I wanted to get a personal trainer, right? I wanted to make sure that I could eventually have the confidence to go into a gym, use the weight equipment, use the cardio equipment, and feel confident that I actually knew what I was doing. I was really worried about going in, doing something wrong, not feeling confident, and I think like confidence is important. Like, especially when you go to some gyms and like everybody clearly knows what they're doing, and I know people are always like, nobody's paying attention to what other folks are doing, but I'm nosy and I pay attention, so like I just assume that everybody else is paying attention to me. So I met my personal trainer. His name was Dan. He was lovely, he was great, he made me feel super comfortable. I worked out with him for probably like, oh shit, she's thundering. Oh damn, I didn't realize a thunderstorm was happening. That felt ominous. Nothing bad is coming from the story, but that felt very ominous. So Dan and I worked out for like 3 weeks. It was going great. I had just like signed up for like a long-term package with him. Like, I think like I signed up for something like 16 weeks. I said, I'm putting my money into this investment, into my health, because I want to live, I want to be healthy. And that's really the tea. Like, my reason for this, and my reason every time I've gotten healthy, at least in the past like 5 years, or attempted to get healthier, I guess, my motivation has always been, don't let the family health situations that you've had be in your life, right? Or like, let's try to prevent those things. So I think I briefly talked in a video somewhere that my dad, God, this thunder, okay, this is a little ominous. My dad passed away ultimately from what was initially like heart complications. He had triple bypass surgery on his heart because he was having a lot of heart pain, heart troubles, and they ultimately were like, oh yeah, like your heart is very damaged and needs some work. And so he had that, but then he had complications from the surgery, which led to a whole bunch of his organs failing, and he was in a hospital for like 7 months. And ultimately, like, it was a very stressful time in my life. I was not prepared to fully go into that all over again. But ultimately, like, he had heart problems. A lot of people in his family have heart or blood related disorders or issues. And I'm just like really trying to be proactive about preventing some of that down the line. I'm 31. I have like my whole life ahead of me still. Like 31, if y'all wanna call me old, that's fine. But like, that's actually relatively young. And so that was really my motivation for getting into the gym, getting my personal trainer, getting my workout on, etc. So then, as you all know, I started that in February. So as you all know, in March, shit started getting real with COVID, okay? That is what it is. And so the gym shut down. I mean, everything shut down. And it makes sense that the gym would shut down. Like, the gym is still not somewhere I want to personally go myself, because, like, ew, gross, David, gross. But everything shut down, and that included my personal trainer. Like, the only way I had to contact my personal trainer was through his email through the gym that he worked at. And so I lost all contact with him. I wasn't able to, I mean, he sent me one last email that was like, hey, like, obviously things are shutting down. You know, here are a few tips on how you can work out from home. What? So I had tried to reach out to him through that email, but I've now learned that he did not have access to that email through most of the pandemic. And so I was like, I wanted to try to do some kind of like online workout, like remote, like I could put him on FaceTime and he could tell me some things to do. And obviously I just didn't get a hold of him. So instead what I did was like, I'm gonna focus on the food I'm eating at least. Like, that's the least I can do. I had to actually not really change my diet all that much when I was going to the gym with him. I was feeling really great. I was feeling physically better because I felt like I could do more. I was noticing my posture was improving. I was getting all these benefits, and I was like, this is sad, I'm gonna lose all these, so let's at least focus on what you're eating, Zachary. And so that's what I did. I started logging everything in Chronometer, which I had learned from Justine, who I think learned from another YouTuber, but I learned about it through Justine, and my main interest in using that app was that it not only like tracked your macros and your calories for the day, but it also like showed you goals for like all the vitamins and other nutrients that you need, like not just your carbs, your fats, your proteins, but it showed like your vitamin A, your vitamin D, all of that kind of stuff. And that to me at the time was intriguing because, you know, even when I ate keto in the past, it was all about like the number of carbs, eating lots of fat, and keeping, like, hitting a protein goal. I never was really that concerned with, like, am I getting all of the vitamins and nutrients that I need outside of that? So one thing, though, that I knew about, like, my eating behaviors and patterns is just that I cannot control myself when it comes to certain types of carbs. And that's why I was more successful in the past on keto, because I totally believe that moderation is a great thing, but one thing I know is that when it comes to eating rice, pasta, bread, chips, any kind of potato, I can't control myself. I surely can't. I will eat it all, and like, you give me a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese, I'm gonna eat the whole box. That's just what I'm gonna do. And since I can't control myself, I was just like, you just gotta stop buying that. Point blank period, stop buying it. So that's what I did. I don't buy it because I can't keep it in the house because I can't control myself around it. I have instead focused much of my diet to be just like lower carb. I do find myself eating some of the things that I used to eat when I was keto. I've replaced chips with pork rinds, for instance, because for me, I still get that same general satisfaction that I get from chips, but I don't like pork rinds enough that I'm gonna sit there and binge them all, right? You know, I found some tips and tricks and things like that that have helped me, but mostly my point for tracking calories and things like that, like, I have a general calorie goal each day. I try to eat no more than 1,800 calories in a day, which I don't know, maybe for some of you that might seem like a lot. I'm not sure. I'm a 6'2", very large gentleman. Okay, so for me that feels like a generous amount, but not too much. And really though, my point of tracking those calories and focusing on that is to make sure that I don't overeat. And I've really used it to help evaluate my relationship with food. So, you know, when it gets later into the day and I'm thinking like, oh, I might be hungry, but is it because I'm actually hungry, or is it because like I am feeling sad or happy or mad, etc.? And so what I do is I look at the number of calories I've eaten so far today, and if I'm close to that 1,800, I think, no, you're not. You're not actually hungry, you're just feeling some type of way. And then I say, now let's go evaluate what type of way you're feeling. Okay, let's look at that, let's unpack that. And it's really helped me think a lot about like, what am I using food for? Am I using it to actually give me energy, nourish my body, etc.? Or am I using it as a coping mechanism? And spoiler alert, in a lot of my life, I've used food as a coping mechanism, as I think a lot of people have. Like, a lot of people have been conditioned by the way that they were raised, by society, etc. They've been, you know, conditioned to go to food when they want to celebrate, when they want to be sad, etc. So I have just been really trying to reevaluate my relationship with that food, set some boundaries, and, you know, paying attention to my calorie goals for the day, but not like obsessing over them, has been really helpful for me. So I did mention my mental health at the beginning of this video, and I mostly did that because the month of June, I probably lost 5 pounds, and I truly wasn't even trying that hard. I was still tracking my calories, my food, I was logging it every day, but I also was like not motivated to eat. My anxiety was just very high, as I explained in that video when I came back after a month-long hiatus. My anxiety was so high that like my stomach physically felt ill. And so, you know, when you've been ill, when you've been sick, you're not hungry, you don't want to eat. And so the anxiety was causing me to like avoid even eating, because I was just so physically sick to my stomach from the anxiety. That's not to say that I didn't eat, I was eating. I just wasn't eating nearly as much food as I normally do. And so I lost like 5 pounds that month. I've since gained it back. I think I did get down to like 210 pounds, or pretty close to it at some point. But I have since like been going around like 212 to 215, depending on the day, depending on weight fluctuations, water weight, you know the drill, you know the drill. I also mentioned my mental health earlier because honestly, tracking my food every day was one way that I could control something in a world that since March has felt like very out of my control. And honestly, for me, it was a major coping mechanism, and you know, even that I feel like I need to evaluate a little bit. Like, my mental health is way too tied in some cases to the rest of my health. And I think that that's true for everybody, but also should not be that tied to like the food I'm eating. You know, I don't want the food I'm eating to reflect if I'm feeling happy or sad or upset, frustrated, depressed, anxious, etc. I want food to serve its purpose as something that nourishes me, something that fulfills me, and not this thing that's so closely tied to my mental health. So I've been doing some other things like journaling and going to therapy and things like that to try to like unpack those things, unpack those feelings, and just try to like have food be a thing that's like a normal part of my life, just like everybody else. I also want to say that I finally have gotten back in touch with my personal trainer, and I'm very excited. He has orchestrated or planned or organized a way to practice outdoors or exercise outdoors with him. I'm very much looking forward to it. I very much want to get back into some kind of exercise that feels safe under the conditions that, you know, we're in and we're living in right now. And so My first appointment for that is not this coming Tuesday, but the next, so I'm really looking forward to that as long as it doesn't rain or something else catastrophic happen outside. So stay tuned for how I feel after that, because I do know that physical exercise and physical activity does help with my mental health and helps me feel better. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into that. So I guess I hope that maybe answers your questions. I hope that you feel fulfilled now that you know that part of my life, what's going on, why I look so stunning these days. And if you didn't, I don't have anything else to really say about the subject. So stay tuned for more silly, goofy reactions, commentary, etc. And if this is your first video, please subscribe, but don't expect tons of weight loss related content on my channel. Hit the bell button. Follow me on all my social media, including Twitch, where I play video games. Leave some comments down below, hit like, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!